What's going on? Hello. I know there's somebody out there. So, how are you guys? I'm just eating, I'm just banged out some Chipotle, which I know is weird, but I'm hungry, man. That's how it is. And summertime, isn't it? Summertime and BlueCat Ustream rocking. We're gonna just have tons of these now, right? You guys love these Ustreams. Um, we got Steve. You can't see Steve because we changed the Steve and Olivia. Steve will walk around and just say hi really quick. Steve, we fired Steve again. We're always letting him go. I don't really know what to do with him. I know you guys love him, and so we gave him $3,000 to work tonight and work the Ustream. That's how much we care about you guys. And Olivia is here. She is gonna step up and come around and say hi too. I think if I ask her nicely, she's not into the camera today. You know how she is. There she is. There we go. She's there. She's gonna be taking your questions. We're gonna give away a free entry tonight. Wow, that's a shocker. We always do that, right? But they're awesome. And then we have these horrible contests that suck. But sometimes they come up, they're awesome too. I mean, I'm not, we love giving away free entries. Everybody knows what our deadline, our first deadline, we have about 3 deadlines. We just opened officially last Monday, June 1st. Our first deadline for early feedback is next Monday, June 15th, everybody. Get your feedback. I think the price goes up after that. It's like our little early bird thing. I think we turn around and give you the feedback by July 1st. And then you read it and you go, oh my God, BlueCat hated my script. What? I have so many notes from BlueCat. Guess what? I'm going to rewrite this thing and I'm going to come back in the fall and resubmit and crush their faces with my awesome rewrite. I know you guys, that's what you think. You always do. You send in your little drafts. You know it's not ready, but you love to get our feedback and then turn it around. And I know you guys. You have your little plan, um, which is good. That's what we do. Our resubmissions are people love our resubmissions, and people use it to develop themselves, and and that's what we do. We you can only resubmit once. Only resubmit once. We used to have it so you could resubmit as much as possible, and people. I think there was one guy who resubmitted his short like 20 times, and it was like, I was like, this is, I think, abusive of the system. I've determined that this is abusive of the system, and it was like, we're only going to allow you to resubmit once, which is probably, I don't know. Sometimes I think, man, maybe we should resubmit twice, but once is good enough. You know what it does? It makes you want to work on your script and get it ready because you only got that one shot. I think it's healthier for us. And tonight, it's a great night. We have our winner, Kimmy Howe she's going to be in on the Ustream. She is in town. And you know why she's in town? Because she got signed by a big manager and went out on a ton of meetings this week. She's in town to have a table reading, which was supposed to happen today, but BlueCat completely screwed it up. I know you guys are surprised. You're like, BlueCat screwed something up? That never happens. No, we actually had, it was weird. We had her, she crushed a rewrite right before she came to LA. I had the rewrite in my possession. Olivia had the script that won BlueCat. We printed that all out. So the actors showed up Wah, wah. We did not have the right script. And I was like, and Kimmy, who you'll meet in 2 seconds, is a very, very considerate, gracious person. She was like, oh, we can just read the old one that doesn't matter to me anymore. That's what she was. No, she didn't say that. But she was like, we can read that one. And I was like, no way, man. This is like, we're trying to help you. This is not helping something that you've already deleted or you've, I don't know, thrown in the trash figuratively or whatever. Um, so we're going to do the reading next week because she's coming back, everybody. She's leaving town for a second and then she's coming back for the Dog Bowl Los Angeles premiere. The Dog Bowl's at the LA Film Festival. So anyone in LA, maybe we'll give out tickets to the Dog Bowl LA screening on Wednesday. When is that? There's 2 screenings. There's the premieres next Sunday, and then there's an additional screening that's been added because basically there was a clamor amongst the citizens of Los Angeles for more Dog Bowl. Not really. But they did add another one. And maybe we'll give out 2 tickets to that Wednesday night screening. Of course, every time, I have to say, every time that we give out 2 free tickets to something awesome in Los Angeles, people try to win because they want to win, but then they win, they don't even show up. How many times does that happen, Heather? Like, every time we give out tickets to something in Los Angeles, the person never comes or claim, I'm not going to be able to make it. Yeah. I gotta watch Damages again. I'm watching Downton Abbey season 3 a second time because I can't believe that guy died. No, but maybe we'll do that if you care. Maybe in the chat. No one's chatting, by the way. P.S. Hello, chatters. Can you say hi to me? Danielle, are you there?
Yeah, Danielle's there, I think.
Okay, Danielle, you're always... Are you there, Danielle? Danielle's one of our shorts finalists. Would be a kindred spirit with Kimmy. Both terrific writers.
Where's Danielle? San Francisco?
She is, yeah, she's outside. She's near San Francisco, Northern California. So yeah, so we might give out tickets to Dog Bowl if people are like actually into it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll just give out a free entry because everybody always loves that and uses those and stuff. And we also tonight we're gonna have Ryan Roy, writer of Peacock. Peacock was on the blacklist a few years ago and was made into a movie. And he's going to be doing some script consultation stuff for us for BlueCat. He's our new script consultation guy, and because I'm actually going to be busy this summer, so I'm more busy. I'm not going to be able to do so much consultation stuff. So we've got a new guy. He's really awesome, and you're going to be able to meet him in about 2 hours. He's going to come back and we'll do some quiz. We both went to Spy. Ryan and I went to Spy on the Melissa McCarthy Paul Feig movie that opened #1 movie this weekend. We both went to it on Friday and walked out. Wah wah. So I don't know. And maybe there'll be some people who want to debate that, but we didn't get into it. It was just weird. And no one's chatting. Is there a reason why I'm not? Can people hear me? I don't know. It's just, I know there's 25 people on. Everyone's shy. So, very good. How do you know Danielle's on?
She retweeted it.
Oh, okay. She's retweeted it, but she's probably jumping on. Are people on? Can you hear? Can you see me on your thing? You're like rolling. So, well, very good. What's that?
Yeah, your mic's on. You should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all good. We're sometimes,
It takes people a minute to feel comfortable.
Sometimes. Thank you. Somebody's like helping me out. I know if somebody feels bad for me, they're like, "Hi, Gordy, you loser." You're like I gotta say hi because Gordy's crying. Look, Exactly. Totally. Whatever, right? Chill out, man. Okay, people are like leaving. All right, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring Kimmy. She's sitting right next to me. And this is the 2015 feature screenplay winner, our grand prize winner. Like out of, what did we have? 4,600 scripts? I mean, we, what,
4,700.
47, I don't know, way over 4,600. But she was the number one in the pile. And this is Kimmy Howe, and her script was called Mouth for the winner. So she'll slide in there. There's Kimmy right there. Hey, everybody. So there's Kimmy. We'll put her in there. So Kimmy's like, I'm gonna be on the Ustream. What are we gonna talk about, man? So okay. So Kimmy is just turned 24, and she is one of our youngest winners, I think. She might be our youngest winner. She's also our first woman winner since 2007 when Anna Lily Amapour won for the Stones. And you know who Anna Lily Amapour is. She deconstructed the Stones into a vampire movie called The Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, which was very popular. And now she's making a movie called The Bad Batch for Annapurna Pictures, Megan Ellison. So she's on a steep rise, and you all know her. And this is here comes Kimmy with her great script Mouth. So Kimmy, what tell a little bit about what the script is first. I mean, I know people have seen the log line. I know some of you have probably read Kimmy's interview, and but tell us a little bit about what Mouth is about and where did it come from.
So I mean, I think that as a young female writer, I was definitely attracted to all of these scripts that are about postgraduate malaise and, women sort of screwing up and trying to find their place in the world that are coming of age. I love Tiny Furniture, I loved Appropriate Behavior, Obvious Child.
What's appropriate behavior?
Appropriate Behavior, I think it was just at last Sundance
Who did it?
Festival.
Do you know?
Her name, I think, is Desiree Akravan. I don't want to mispronounce her name, but
Okay.
And it's about a lesbian woman who is just, breaking up with her lover who she's been with for years and is sort of navigating the single world in New York and trying to find a job and just basically screwing up, left and right.
Right.
So it's a great scene where she walks down the street in Bushwick carrying a strap on and discards it and then crawls into the dumpster and gets it back.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a funny movie. But so I wanted to make something that was sort of in that wheelhouse of trying to figure out who you are as a young person who is recently out of school. And I also wanted to write something that dealt with relationships and the many roles that we play in different people's lives. So it's about this girl who is sort of in a tumultuous, abusive relationship, and she has an unexpected pregnancy, is trying to find money for her abortion. So she ends up sort of living with this older man in a sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship that's definitely transactional, it's very unconventional, and she doesn't really realize the ramifications of that action and of sort of inserting herself in this family's life and, taking on this role that she's way too immature, I think, to really do. She becomes the suburban trophy housewife while also, trying to figure out what she's going to do in the next step.
What so it's basically about a woman who it's sort of I think there's a scene, arrangement minders, or what is it, arrangement finders.
Seeking Arrangement, which is a big website.
Yeah, there's a website called Seeking Arrangement where women find men that are willing to is that bad?
Oh no, sorry. Distracted.
I want to break it down because it sounds, but that's basically what it is. She's trying to solve a financial issue, and she's like, I'm going to get into a relationship where someone will have me, I'll live with somebody and they'll give me money. And in exchange to also sleep with them while I'm helping them around the house. sort of like a form of sort of a high level prostitution, something.
Prostitution, definitely.
Yeah, like a sugar baby, It's like a sugar daddy situation where somebody's going to pay their rent, and in exchange for that, da 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 da. But what's cool about your structure of the script is that is the way that you reveal all of this stuff. I think that's one of the many things about the script that's really.
I mean, I think it's not even so much about. I'm trying to not really moralize certain things or like point like if you can finger at someone. I think that it's more like about relationships and how all relationships are, in a sense, transactional. Even ones that are completely romantic and devoid of finances.
Right.
But
right.
I also think it's interesting too that sexism is still very prevalent. It definitely exists, and sort of navigating those roles and seeing someone kind of try on different dresses or different suits.
Absolutely. And I mean, walking down Bushwick with a strap on, how is that different than any other day in Brooklyn? Okay, Danny, all right, so let's keep the one-liners rolling back a little. Okay, it wasn't, so everyone's like, hi, Kimmy, BlueCat rocks. Okay, you guys, if you have any questions as we're talking, just fire away. We'll get to them eventually, but we're just going to kind of talk for a little while. Okay, so, but the structure is great because you're tracking the relationship that happened right before this. So it's like she's in the house with a guy, and she starts that relationship, and then there's the stuff that happened that prefaced that, and you run it side by side. So you're cutting back and forth in this very nice, sublime narrative construction where it's not like just banging us over the head with this idea. And there's no sex really in the movie. I mean, there is some, but it's never really with the protagonist. It's off camera, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like the sex was hard to write kind of elegantly without it being too gratuitous. I don't think you need to like put in some horrendous things for shock value.
Well, I think but I think that's important to because I think when you pitch the script,
it's not like a 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah,
it's a sexual thriller. It's kind of more about this like delicate, intangible relationship with different people and.
Right, and I think that's the thing is that it's very, very. You can jump to that conclusion when you hear about the log line or whatever, and be like, okay, 50 Shades, or there's going to be some like, in it, and it's really not. It's really about the degrading effects of sort of immature decisions that we all make in life, and definitely when we're young. There's one great line, and she's like, I'm 22, let me be 22, or something like that, to that effect. And it was really, is a great line, because it really is like, it's almost like anyone could say that at any time in their life, and there's something really cool about that. So like, okay, so you have this wonderful script, and What was the script that you wrote before this? I mean, how did you get in? How did you get to your first script, which you wrote, and then obviously then you went to Mount? But tell us about.
Well, I guess my first script is called Kindergarten, and it is the opposite. It's about a woman who is dating a much younger man within a psych ward. So it's about a girl who's like 23, 24, and she, struggles with this eating disorder. So she is in a rehab facility for that, and the only person that she really connects to is a 15-year-old OCD anorexic boy. So it's sort of about sexual sublimation, how eating disorders are often sexual sublimations, and again, it's like another script that's like wrong because society deems it wrong, because of their age difference, but they're sort of navigating the world and using each other to come to terms with their own addiction and their issues.
Now, how did you ever, where was that place where you, what were your interests before you ever thought about writing a movie, or when did you start thinking, I want to write a movie, I want to make a movie? I mean, where did this all happen? Storytelling in cinema.
In general, in cinema.
Now you're writing scripts. I mean,
yeah. I mean, storytelling in general. I went to a school that was very art centric, and we did puppet shows, and we sort of enacted everything that we read. I remember being in second grade, and we had to put on a production of the Epic of Gilgamesh. And there's like a scene there where I played the harlot, the character, and there's like a sex scene in that. And we put that on in third grade.
Third grade.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think that I always stared writing plays.
Those teachers have now been incarcerated by now. They've been.
No, they're lovely. But I've done a lot of playwriting in my life and have directed some plays in school and stuff, and love the theater. But I also wish that I could hold on to something that is sort of fleeting and intangible that happens on stage. And film is obviously the natural progression with that.
Right.
As someone who is a perfectionist, you want to be able to show something and feel like it's locked down and it's
right
there forever. So
right. So
I studied mostly playwriting and then got into
when did you
screenwriting
where was the playwriting? Was that at college? You were writing
playwriting in
plays?
high school, middle school, high school,
Wow.
some college. But
so how many plays did you write when you were in high school?
6, 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And what kind of books did you read or movies? I mean, were you obsessed with movies or television, or like what were sort of like the things that you?
Movies and television. I mean, I think that I watched a fair amount of TV, but I also was sort of consumed with like making things up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So you went ahead with kindergarten, and how did you cross that line and be like, I'm going to write a feature?
Well, kindergarten was a feature. It had started as a short, and it just wasn't. It's so much more difficult, I think, to write a strong short because there's something like delicate and indelible about a short working, and you have to be so concise and not be too pedantic, and you can't give that much insight, I guess, into your character. Like you can't deal with huge issues
Right.
in a way.
Right.
So this script was a short, and everyone was like, "This is too girl interrupted. This is too dramatic. This is too." But, it was so much shit for like 15 pages. So I ended up kind of expanding it, and then every beat isn't just so like.
Yeah. Better
Pretty much,
pacing
yeah.
and stuff, so you can give yourself time to breathe a little bit. So you finished kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do?
I submitted to this screenwriting competition called the Creative World Awards, and
Okay.
it won Best Dramatic there, which was awesome.
Okay.
It sort of opened up some doors, and then submitted to the Richmond International Film Festival, and it won Best Dramatic there. So it was cool to kind of meet some people, and
Wow, that was cool.
it was very lucky to have your first thing win something, but
Right.
But that gave me hope and sort of was the impetus to keep writing and find something else.
So what did you end up doing with kindergarten? Or what was the next thing?
Some people have read it. It's gone out, I think, to a few producers, but because it deals with eating disorders, people don't really want to touch it as much.
Right.
For whatever reason. I mean, I think that's just a taboo subject. It's something that affects so many people, but it's also, I don't know. It doesn't make money. I don't know.
Do you feel like you wrote Mouth, and then Mouth is also not necessarily, like the next Melissa McCarthy movie or whatever, but maybe it is. I don't know, but do you feel like I want to write something commercial? I should write something more commercial. Or do you think like that, or are you just I'm just gonna write?
I mean, I think that there are things that obviously have a very, very niche audience, and maybe that isn't going to be the easiest thing to get made, but I think that it can get made. I don't think that anything's impossible.
Right. So, with Mouth, just in general, like how do you go about, like you get an idea and you're like, okay, I want to write about this relationship. What do? Do you write out an outline? Do you write out a beat sheet? Do you just start writing whatever? What's your process?
I mean, I'm still sort of like learning my process, but with kindergarten, I just kind of went for it, and that was difficult. I mean, I had learned 3-act structure and have read some screenwriting books in school, but I think really knowing visually the few scenes that I need to have in there helped me create the structure, and knowing where I'm going to end, that dictates the beginning for me. A lot of this.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I the same way. I mean, if you know where you're going, you can kind of, even with Love Liza, I think I knew where it was going, and I had some maybe things to discover about the end of the movie, but I didn't know, and it allowed me to sort of write by the seat of my pants a little bit more. But so with Mouth, like, what happened with Mouth?
I mean, I knew that from the beginning that I wanted it to be told in the past and the present. It was inspired a lot by Blue Valentine, that structure.
Right.
Bad Timing, which is this film that Art Garfunkel starred in. Super bizarre.
Bad Timing.
Bad Timing.
Oh, wow.
What else is told, like, past and present? Je T'aime,
Right.
which I think is like the original Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Right.
So I really liked that structure and working with memory and the way that it sort of informs our present life. And you can do that in film, where you can't do that as easily in playwriting.
Right. You can move around.
You're taught in playwriting to keep a scene, to make it sort of as long as it can be, because it disrupts the show to change the set, to get it, for the curtain to go down. But with film, being able to play around temporally.
So you have this structure, this timeline break thing.
Mm-hmm.
How did you proceed? Did you just okay, I'm gonna write, go crazy, or did you have a little bit of an outline? What did you do?
I outlined. I found actually this cork board on the street that has been really helpful. So I just can put up, my cards.
You just found a magical screenwriting cork board on the street.
Well, I don't know if it's a screenwriting cork board, but it is a cork board. But it helps, I think that being able to have two different colors. So I had blue cards and like purple cards, I think it was. And the blue was the present, purple was the past.
Oh, cool.
And being able to sort of see, how many blue cards you have versus purple, that ratio.
Right.
And creating the liaisons between the past and present. So I wanted it to flow sort of seamlessly.
Yeah, you've got some nice like little hooks, those little daisy chain things that kind of, and they're not clunky or weird or obvious. They're just sort of like nice and clean, so they're very good. Yeah, so you had all that. Did you work through like, okay, these are all the scenes and this is the order. Now I'm gonna just bang this out?
A little, I mean, sort of, but then it also, certain things changed. I got a bunch of notes from readers about amping up certain relationships with other of the side characters. So that changed. I think in my first draft, Maisie was a very periphery character. She didn't interfere at all.
Right.
People were like, then why is she there?
Why is she in the movie?
And you kind of have to answer that.
Right. So what happened if you kind of got this draft and you were like, you sent it to BlueCat, obviously, at some point. What have you learned recently about your draft? I mean, you just said the draft you sent to BlueCat was like 125 pages, which is sort of like right up against our legal limit, so to speak, and it's long for a spec script. And I remember starting it and going, wow, this is really well written, but she's also adding stuff to the description that might not be that sort of almost like literature, but I almost forgave it just because of the strength of the rest of the piece. And now you have your draft as you've shaved off like a dozen pages. So how are you evolving as a writer just recently?
I mean, I think definitely the exposition, the overly sort of florid or...
What's that? I mean, tell everybody what that...
So exposition would be like...
the description.
Yeah, the description.
But what were you doing with the description that was sort of like excessive?
I think that it was like there were instances where I would talk about, an emotion that someone couldn't really portray easily, or, there was just too much. Like, we can have a dialogue and you don't need to be told how to say something as a smart actor.
Right.
And I wasn't really having the faith that the actors would come in and do that. So
right. There was this
sort of getting rid of all the parentheticals, first of all, save some space. You don't need to be told how someone says
Right. There was something that it behaved like a book, like a novel a little bit at times, and it made the length of it go on. And some of the dialogue probably like sort of, you know, rooted in your background as a playwright, where the scene, the dialogue is probably maybe a little bit longer. You could cut it and compress it, and still you're still telling the same.
I mean, that's what I love about playwriting, is that you really can have almost more naturalistic dialogue because the scene is allowed to breathe a little bit more. But with screenwriting, it's like finding those concise things that are powerful but you know, that aren't too obvious in a way, but that move the story forward. And you have to kill your darlings, obviously, certain lines, but it's stronger in the end, you know.
Right.
I realize, like, if you can get the story told in 110 pages, it's ultimately just, you know, a better story than making.
So what are some of the you just recently had a bunch of, you know, a bunch of industry meetings. You're in LA. What are some of the discouraging, or not discouraging, but some of the like reactions that haven't really clicked that you've gotten from the studio, from the industry here?
I mean, I obviously, no one has wanted to meet with me who didn't like the script.
Obviously, but, they knew you're a great writer, but their take on it was.
I mean, I think, you know, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, but some people either want it to be a little bit more. They want to know what it is, what to call it, like what box to put it in. Is it a comedy? Is it a drama? Is it a thriller? And, you know, I think that it maybe is a little bit of all of those things, but it's not. I'm not writing, you know, Bridesmaids.
Right.
Certainly isn't a thriller. She's not like a kidnapped
victim. No.
But so I think that has sort of been something that is a little bit difficult. It's not totally a blockbuster film. It's definitely one of these independent passion pieces. Everyone has said that has liked it. You know, you really need a strong producer behind it. You need someone who really doesn't want to touch it as much.
So what's your next step with the movie? You want to direct the movie?
Yeah, definitely. I want to give that a go for sure. I'm working on a short right now, which is going to function as a proof of concept.
Well, you don't have to like give it a go. You're a director. You don't like it. You can't. Don't say that to anyone. You know, because you really, you know, you have a vision that's very strong narratively, and you're very smart. You're a natural leader. I mean, just, you know, I mean, that's what you want to do.
I know. In terms of, like, you know, the technicality of all of it, you know, I think that making a short will definitely be beneficial.
So what are you going to do? You're going to make a short.
Yeah, making a short this summer, which is very exciting. Sort of getting the pieces together with that right now, getting the ball rolling, and hopefully seeing where that leads. Still revising. I think that there's always room for not necessarily like full rewrites, but I'm very excited to do the table read next week, because I think that, you know, it'll be the first time that I hear it not in my head, and that will just be a big deal. Beneficial.
Yeah, it's going to be a big deal. And so you're shooting it. What are you going to do with the short once it's sort of?
You know, use it as a proof of concept. So some of these producers.
And what's a proof of concept?
It is proof of the concept. I don't know. It's proof that, you know, the script can it be engaging and it can be interesting.
Right. And, is it it's sort of a sample or like a calling card for the project? It says okay, see how this is on its feet, you know, that kind of thing. I don't think everybody knows exactly what. That's why I didn't ask it. It's like a lot of people out there are like, what is she talking about? Proof of concept. So you're going to write like a short, and then that short is you're going to do what with?
You know, show it to producers. Try, I think, to submit to the Sundance Screenwriters Lab, which is upcoming, and get funding. You know, I think that there are a lot of grants out there for stories that are like this. And it's finding the right people.
Sundance was already interested in kindergarten.
Yeah, well, they had read it for their A3 Foundation, their inaugural partnership, I think, with them. But.
Nice. And so you have a relationship with them. You're trying to, like, you know, that's part of, you're making it short because you want to maybe get involved with their development lab, and they suggested doing something like that, making the short. Cool. So so what happened when you won BlueCat? You won BlueCat. The winner, you did the interview, and the interview was done. We were doing the interviews before we announced the winner, right, Olivia? Was it all happening at the same time? It was like you weren't the winner yet; you were just a finalist, and then we didn't we.
I can't remember.
Well, she says that she.
Oh,
I remember I had a very, very, very short turnaround for getting the
Yeah, we were like,
responses back.
well,
It's like,
well, we totally, well, we've learned that because if we let the writers take, we're like, oh, get back to us, they won't do it for 3 weeks, and it's like we have this, we want to catch lightning in a bottle, and like, so I think we had the finalists, everybody do the interviews, and then by the time she won, we already had her interview.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do the interview before or after you learned you?
I think I did the interview after I'd learned that I had won.
And then it went up and it was announced, like we sent out the newsletter that said, here she is. And then what happened?
You know, I just got definitely a bunch of contacts from different management companies, different agencies, few producers, I think, but
what was the experience? Were some of the emails you got were any of them weird, or did you get any like strange? What was your experience of getting? How did they correspond with you? Or were they just like, oh, send me the script, send me the script?
I mean, I got one couple, I think, from the UK that had written this like very long. It was a nice email, but it was very long about like their trials and tribulations. But I didn't really know like what it had to do with me necessarily. And then at the end, it was like, "P.S. Can we read your script?" And I was like, "Okay, sure, I guess." I mean,
yeah.
But And then I got something that was in, I think, Portuguese.
Nice.
I never Google translated, but
yeah, that's interesting. They must have.
But other than that, it was definitely you know, managers and a lot of assistants, I think, to bigger managers and agents.
Right. And you sent out the script, and then what happened? How soon was the turnaround? Like people going, oh.
How soon did they contact me?
Yeah. I mean, did they? Well, after you sent them the script, I mean, what was the? A lot of people wonder. Like, I sent them the script.
Mm-hmm.
How long? Like, it's been 2 weeks, and I didn't hear from them, and so I want to kind of give people a sense of like, when they opened your script, you're the winner of BlueCat.
Yeah.
What happened?
I mean, I think, you know, some people I still haven't even heard back from.
Right.
You know, it seemed like they're such huge companies and they're
right.
reaching out to a bunch of people. But you know, I think it was all on a case by case basis. Some of the companies got back to me within the next few days. A lot of assistants wrote back to me being like, "I read it, I loved it, I passed it on." You know.
Oh wow.
So
okay, so we won't get into like what companies they were or whatever, but what so what happened next? I mean, what was your process of like choosing and
so I ended up, you know, speaking to a few people, and I found this one manager who I really, really connected with. I thought that he was great in terms of sort of understanding what I wanted to do with the script. You know, I don't want to just necessarily relinquish it and sell it. And he had a lot of clients that were similar to me in many ways. You know, they were young, they had written a script that either won a contest or had placed well somewhere else, and were sort of trying to work towards directing it eventually and finding funding.
Great, so he was supportive of that.
Very supportive.
And that was something you were like, okay, cool. Now, how was the meetings that you went on? What was that process? What's it like going to? Have you gone on a lot of meetings like that, or was this a new experience?
It was a fairly new experience. You know, I'd gone on a few generals before, but you know, it's you definitely feel very legit when you're going around. My manager calls it the water tour because you just get free waters from everyone.
Right.
You go to, so.
Right. You want water?
Yeah, exactly.
So
one person offered me a sandwich, which was nice.
Oh, you got a sandwich
I got
out.
a sandwich.
See, you not only win $15,000 with BlueCat,
you get a free sandwich.
You get a sandwich too. Do you hear that, everybody?
What kind of sandwich?
Okay. Okay. So, well, very good. So you went out, you talked to these people, you've got your short coming up, and your real goal is to make this into a movie. And is that sort of like the dream scenario is like, I want to write movies that I direct? Are there other things you're like, I would also like to write a play that goes on Broadway, or what else do you want to do?
I really, you know, I've always wanted to write a novel. I just think that it's something that seems so daunting, but you know, I know a few novelists, and they're like, once you get past page 60, it's just like, you do it.
Oh,
But
you
I don't know
would
if
be
that's
great.
true,
You would be
but,
great at it.
I think because I do appreciate sort of the interiority and being able to really string that together as well.
Right,
I think there
right.
is something that gets lost a little bit
Right,
in
right,
screenwriting, but
right.
you know.
But then you
obviously-
bring it all when
Yeah.
you bring it all back when
Yeah.
you shoot the movie.
Exactly.
And,
So I really respect directors the most. You know, I
how do
think
you
that's
what do you have the most anxiety about? Like approaching like your short. You're
Mhm.
shooting your short this summer. What is like your sort of you don't even think about because it freaks you out so much.
just I mean it's such a like collaborative thing. You know, I have a really great AD attached, which I'm very excited about. But just like there are little labor laws, or you know, what type of dolly do you get, or I mean, you know, there are things I don't know, but I don't know.
Do you have a producer with is helping you yet, or
yeah, there's a producer who is involved, and you know, I'm definitely using some of the money from BlueCat
Right,
to
right.
make that happen.
right? Well, fantastic. So, well, very good. Let's see what kind of questions you guys have. I know that most of the questions from Danny are going to be unusable, so we will just sort of ignore most of those. I'm gonna see if did you email them to me or?
I emailed you.
Okay, well we'll get them up here. So okay. Okay. Did you have something to say with your script? So I think we only have 2 questions total. Is that all you got? I think there's more. Did you send me more?
No, that's all I got for you.
Really? Because I see more here on the chat.
Oh, I don't see that.
Yeah. Do you see yourself in the LA industry that is more of a studio system or New York, which has a reputation as being independent?
I mean, I don't, you know, I'd love to see this film come to fruition in any way possible. I don't necessarily think that it's as sort of bifurcated as like New York versus LA. I mean, I do think that it is probably a smaller budget independent film. I don't know too much about budgeting, but there are no special effects. There's no real, you know, there are very few locations.
Right.
There's small cast, so I think that it could be done for a pretty modest budget.
Right.
I don't know if that means that it's a New York movie.
Right. But in terms of not just mouth, but like you, do you sort of see? Would you like? Oh, I wish I could live in New York and be an independent filmmaker, and that would be my goal. Or do you sort of see yourself as like maybe living in LA and sort of playing the studio game and trying to do some stuff with the studios, or we're working on a television show out here? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I've lived in both cities. I would love to write for TV as well. I think that that's something that I'm definitely pursuing. I don't think that I will write, you know, Transformers 9 anytime soon. But
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Really don't know.
Right.
It's all very new.
Is there Is there a message in the script? That's what I was asking. Are you trying? Is there some sort of social commentary in mouth, or something you're trying to get across? Like you want to make a point about something today, socially or whatever.
I think so, and I think that mostly I'm examining relationships and examining, what it means to be in love for certain characters, what it means to be comfortable. I think, what is happiness? Is it the white picket fence with the mansion, with everything taken care of, or is it sort of striving for something else? I don't think that it's, I'm not saying this is right, this is wrong, what my protagonist did. So I don't know.
Right.
I think obviously the script, I wouldn't write it if I didn't think that there was some sort of message. I don't have any personal agenda that I'm trying to get across.
Right. I think that, there's an old adage, if you want to send a message, call Western Union, and, that's like an ancient apocryphal studio thing. But I didn't think that I thought it was a character driven piece. I did not think that
I mean, I think it'll definitely engender. My hope is like dialogue around
Yeah.
some of these issues. And
Right. I definitely think people will ask like people will be like, well, would like, do I relate, or what would I do if I was her?
Yeah.
Did she make the right decision? But I think that that's what happens with any emotionally effective movie. And I think that you immediately get us involved with all these people and her and her journey and her choices. And you have constructed a very tragic figure in that we like her. She's very bright. She does a lot of things right. She has these values that are very appealing. Yet she seems to be doing some stuff that from the outside we're sort of watching, a car crash in slow motion a little bit. And I mean, and that's Macbeth, and I mean, that's really what it is. It's like you kind of like, okay, this is a real person, has integrity, has a spine, but what are they doing? Like,
I mean, maybe the message is like there's such a strange double standard with the way men and women age, and I think that that's sort of something that I've been talking about transactional relationships, but I think age is a big.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely.
We like fetishize youth in a huge way.
Well, the point of view, it's very. I mean, it's hard to get around. It continues to be hard to wrap your mind around. Obviously, this girl is 22. The guy in the movie is 44. He's got teenage children living in the house while he has this maid au pair person
and another maid,
and there's another au pair. He's got two of these au pairs, and maybe both of the relationships are inappropriate or something other than just being maids or nannies or whatever, and how it is more acceptable, but you flipped maybe not acceptable is the right word, but not the transactional relationships, but a 44-year-old man with a 22-year-old woman might be looked at like a little bit like, hey, what? But it's gonna it happens all the time. It's happening right now at restaurants right now all over Los Angeles and all over New York. But if you flip the script and it's a 44-year-old woman with a 22-year-old...
That's what my first script was.
Right.
Examining that relationship. And
the perceptions of like, you say 23-year-old girl with a 15-year-old guy, I go, well, I can see that happening. I can see the connection. I can see the chemistry. I could see the emotional tissue between those two people. But if it's a 23-year-old guy with a 15-year-old girl, and it's like, it starts getting, and so, yeah, and I think there is something about, there's a lot of references to Tom being ancient, and the fact that I'm older than Tom is sort of bumming me out a little bit, Kimmy.
I'm sorry.
No, it didn't. I don't even know if it's so much
the number, but it's like these life stages, so he's already been married, he's already had children. It's sort of like you can't take back experience in a way, I guess, You can be like a really immature, 60-year-old, but if you've gone through sort of these stages, it's like
it's definitely
I can relate to someone who is sort of fresh off the boat with.
Right. Well, I mean, I definitely, I mean, it's watching the male protagonist struggle with trying to connect with her and just failing like all the time. I don't know. In that particular relationship, it wasn't working. It was definitely like not happening. And but I think that's why the script is so engaging. Is I think everybody can connect to it in some way, and they see they turn out that couple ends up being the couple that they are, ends up being representative of pretty much a lot of everybody. I mean, it's like I think it's very universal, and but I also thought that what I thought was really special about it was that it was truly, it was a millennial script, which I know that that's sort of like, you know, hate that word, whatever. But the fact is that it's a 21st century movie.
Mhm.
One of the things that you did in the movie that I loved was, and it's something that writers should think about, is texting, social media, use of phone, use of the internet. She uses it in a way, well, she uses it in a way that, you know, you were 5 when AOL was like ramping up.
Yeah, exactly.
So you grew up on the internet. You grew up with email. Like you can't even remember when there wasn't email. It didn't. I mean, probably.
I mean, I remember dial-up.
Well, you remember dial-up, but the thing is that I remember before dial-up and like, you know, like getting up to go and change the channel, the TV station, you know, and you know,
like going to the library to look something up.
Yeah, like there was no Wikipedia, you know, it was like encyclopedias. But the fact is that I love that about the movie is that it was 21st century America. It's not, and you didn't use texting or emails or social media or Facebook or anything as a part, like you didn't consciously use that as a part of your storytelling, which I think a lot of people are still doing.
Yeah, I just dislike that when you have like the over-the-shoulder shot of the
the text messages and stuff like that. Well, I think it's because it feels awkward. I just don't think. I think if you live in a world where you've always, if you know, basically texting has been a part of your maturity, you know, your maturation as a person. I mean, you know, I know that sounds, but I recognize that because you guys know I read a ton of scripts. And we adjudicate a ton of scripts, and I teach and everything else, and it's hard because a lot of us struggle with a movie, like how we reflect the world as it is now, and how intimacy and friendships and relationships and interactions are reflected now through technology all the time. But the script was like it was like 2.0 in that it went beyond that in a way that was so refreshing. It was like this stuff is all an afterthought, and we're back to the dramatic situation between the characters, and I think a lot of people are getting better with that stuff. But that's why it was one of the reasons it won. Mm-hmm. It was because it was truly contemporary. It was a contemporary script. There was no way that script exists 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, but there was obviously the emotional themes and everything else is like they're ancient. You know, it was ancient. It was like what's the woman who's got to tell a different story every night, or she gets executed? Salome, or what was the 1,000 Nights of you guys know what you guys tell me what that one is. One of you guys, you know the legend about the woman who's got she holds off sleeping with the guy every single night for 1,000 nights and tells a different story. So but that's what it felt a little bit like. There was a little bit. Yeah. That's like it's Salome or somebody like that. You guys somebody will figure it out on Ustream. But it's very, very famous, and that's what it felt like. It felt like she at times, even though she ended up, I don't know, she really never really helped. It's a different story, but it did have those sort of. There was something ancient about it. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. How did you come up with the title Mouth? How does it relate to your movie?
Okay, well. There's the character Reina, and she is in this dysfunctional relationship with a boy her own age, who's named Aiden, and they meet through an audition of this play that Sam Shepard and Patti Smith wrote about two dysfunctional lovers, and it's called Cowboy Mouth. So Mouth is derived from that title. And, you know, going back to what you were saying about people meeting online, you know, all the whole like Tinder text message thing, I really wanted to write a script about two people that met in an organic way, yet it was still distorted because they met while they were trying to play other people. So it's all about roles, again, you know, the roles that we are in certain people's lives and the roles that we can flip into. So, Mouth just felt like, I remember when I was trying to decide the titles and sort of soliciting people for advice, and Indian Summer was one that someone had told me. Yeah, I was like, that's so, I don't know.
Yeah. That's not gonna happen.
So Mouth really felt like it was the winner to me. There was a line, I think, in the draft that I'd submit that in the script that I won with, where she talks about how the most difficult thing to do is to kiss him on the mouth, and that sort of goes back to the whole like prostitution, like passe la bouche, like thing. But
Right.
I think I ended up cutting that line because it became too on the nose. But
Right.
it's called Mouth because of Cowboy Mouth.
Right. Well, cool. What attracts you to dysfunctional characters?
I don't know. What attracts you to dysfunctional characters? I mean,
Well, somebody asked me.
Okay.
Both Gordy and Kimmy enjoyed unusual dysfunctional characters. The fact is that I don't really think. I don't know if dysfunctional. Who's dysfunctional? I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't even know if I've had. I mean, I guess Dog Bowl. The woman is on paper definitely dysfunctional. I would say she's not functioning well. So technically, yes. But I don't think anyone in your script is like dysfunctional. I mean, I think everybody's functioning in reality and paying the. I mean, there's. I don't know. I mean, I think that they're flawed and they're making mistakes and stuff.
Yeah.
But
that's everybody.
yeah, that sort of that sort of is almost everybody. Okay, so let's see here. Some more questions. Did you build the main character first and then the situation around the character, or did you think of the scenario first and then design the characters to fulfill the plot?
I think of the design the characters for the plot. I mean, I think the two go hand in hand. I don't build something like. I don't know how I would even build something that's like separate. I think that you have the character and their story sort of unravels, and it could only happen to that specific character. I don't know. I wasn't like, I want to write this piece and then I'm going to put in a girl who sort of likes banana Laffy Taffies, or I didn't make her up for the story.
Right.
I didn't make the story for her.
Right. Yeah. You just have this idea in this world in your mind, and you started to go there. Okay. Let's see here. Shazarhazi, 1001 Nights. Shezaraz. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yes, you're right. That's what it is. Thank you. We have some more questions here. You're only okay. These are like Danny Yang it's like having a conversation with Danny. I appreciate all your questions, Danny. I'm trying to find other ones. They're all fantastic too. I mean, did you have real people in your mind as you wrote it?
I think, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of all my writing is certain elements of, myself, people that I know. It's, you don't want to take all your personal relationships and sort of cannibalize them for art, or else you would have no friends. But
Aiden will come
and kill you. I don't know. But I think that I definitely am a big eavesdropper. That was something that I learned in middle school with playwriting, and sort of just like listen to conversations when you're in public, sort of mind what you can. And I'm always taking notes on my phone when I hear something that I think's golden, because a lot of the time just looking through these fragments of conversation will help me be able to craft a certain scene or two. It's what I need for something. You never know. I mean, I just recently wrote a transparent spec, and it was pretty much all derived from different, fragments that I had heard.
Now, just basic stuff, like how do you write? What time of day? Mm-hmm. Like, do you write in bursts? Do you write every single day? What do your habits look like?
For certain specific projects, I'll just write it in one big concentrated fell swoop. So I wrote the first draft of Mouth, I think, in 10 days. And that was because I had a deadline for that. and just, you really get into it. You're like barely, you're barely sleeping. You're sort of living and breathing this. But I'm always conjuring things and sort of thinking about where I'm going next. I don't have very specific routines. I bought this book, like I said in my interview, about routines and artists and how they work. But I think that that's just, I don't know. It's kind of antiquated in a sense. If we all didn't have jobs, like maybe we could have our cup of coffee with three sugars and take our stroll in the park and then sit down to write. But
Right.
I think for me it's like just don't bullshit yourself. Like you can't make excuses. There's this quote, if you want it bad enough, I'm butchering it, but like if you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen, and if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And I think we all
That just made me want to kill myself.
No, but like something that my old friend who's a personal trainer always says is like, we have the same amount of hours in our day as Beyonce. I'm like, look at the shit that she does.
Oh shit! That's like, see, now I'm really gonna kill myself.
No, but I just don't, like, if you want to write. Don't wait for the perfect situation, the perfect place. It's not gonna happen. It's not supposed to be super easy.
Right.
At least in my experience, it's not.
Right. I will be posting my lip sync version of Single Ladies later, by the way. So look for that. We'll send out a newsletter about 10 o'clock when that's posted. So when you rewrite, how do you take feedback? Like, I mean, what do you get, like, what's your response? When you really fail in your responses to feedback? Do you freak out? Some of the people give notes and you hate the notes. I mean, how has it been not constructive for you, and how you learn from?
An old screenwriting teacher of mine said, only get 3 people to give you feedback. So you'll always have a tiebreaker. Because if you have 2 people and one person loves a scene or an element and someone else hates it, then you're sort of screwed. Who do you go with? But I think I try to reach out to 3 people that read. And, I take feedback well. I love getting feedback. I loved your feedback. That helped me cut a ton of things.
Yeah.
But I think that if you're also really attached to something, listen to that instinct, because you may not be presenting it in a way that's completely concise and clear and like perfect for another audience to understand, but there's a reason why you've included it.
Yeah,
and it might just be about reworking it.
Yeah, you can still fight for it, make it work, right? How many drafts has Mouth gone through, or how many drafts do you feel like you officially, or unofficially, before you submitted it to BlueCat? 1?
2 or 3?
2 or 3? You're trying to be nice? Probably 2, right?
I mean, it was. That's why I was very. I think that it
was. But you said you're a perfectionist, because that script is really good. I mean, it's very well written. You weren't like. I mean, it wasn't like there was typos in it or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're not sloppy. I mean, you actually went back and reread and,
I think, I have a poetry background, and I think that helps tremendously with screenwriting, which you wouldn't necessarily
How does it help?
The 2 to translate. I mean, I think, if you look at a haiku, it's about being as, evocative and concise as you possibly can with a short amount of words, and I think being really precious with what you choose to include in your exposition, in your description. Don't just say a tall white male. You can say
something else,
as thin and neatly pressed as an envelope, or something. You can give this verbal image that helps you sort of see something. I don't know.
Right. So. Fantastic. Yeah, she did outline Mouth to a certain degree. She wrote out index cards. You said you wanted to direct this, so as you wrote, did you see it edited in your mind? This line is a close-up, this line is a long shot, you know what I mean? A film running in your head. You have some camera direction in there, but not a lot. But were you always writing it for, I'm going to direct this, I'm directing this?
Well, that was one of the questions that I had originally, in the interview, because I have a number of songs written into the script.
Oh, yeah.
And that is obviously, you're taught that's a no-no, I think. And for me, I put those in because I really did always see myself directing it, so those songs I would want to use if I could use.
Right.
But in terms of like specific shots, definitely, I don't have that as clearly, figured out for each scene.
Right.
But I think there are some scenes that I can totally visualize and thought that they were cinematic, like the spray tanning scene, or
Right, that was great.
all the little 13-year-old boys in slow mo.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that stuff's really fantastic. So you wrote 10 people. Okay, 10 pages. I'm going to try. Any other questions, you guys? I'm looking here. Let's see if you have any other ones. We got another question here. Love it. Thanks. Cool. Okay, very good. So cool. Well, you know what? Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I think if you guys don't have any more questions, we will have, if you came in a little late on this one, we'll have Kimmy's interview up on the site fairly soon. So you'll be able to watch the whole thing. There's a lot of great stuff in here. What else did we miss? Did I miss anything that I wanted to ask her about? I don't know. I mean, I think we pretty much covered it all. It's funny, Sylvia, every time like an indie script wins BlueCat, everyone's always like, BlueCat only accepts indie scripts. And then when we have a comedy win, they're like, "Oh, BlueCat only accepts comedies." I mean, so this year, I guess people are going to think that we only accept like, female-driven, indie films or whatever. And if you want to direct, how will LA help you?
How will the city of Los Angeles?
Yeah, I guess it's like, well, just the industry out here. I mean, yes. How will the city, the community, how will the people here help you? No, but what they're saying is that like, if you're out here, is this the best place to foster a directing career, as opposed to maybe Austin or New York?
I mean, I don't know the answer.
Don't know yet.
You know?
You're still getting started, so you'll find out, right?
I think that it would help to be here or in sort of a major city, but I think anywhere where there's a film community,
How is it? Have you thought about, like, do you think about this at all? We don't get 50% of our scripts are not written by, more than half of our scripts that are submitted are written by men.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is. It's that we don't have a 50-50 population. Doesn't fall along the population break. It just doesn't. And we haven't had a winner that's been female for a while. And do you think about that? Do you think about the fact that the industry is always, that there's a lot of media like it's getting worse, there's less directors, less female directors and all that stuff? Or what do you think that do you just ignore that? I mean, I would just think like, who cares?
I mean, I think that it's daunting. It's horrible when you see the stats. There should be we're 50% of the population, if not more so. But it's interesting. I've gone out for a few meetings and people have been like, "Oh, you fit our diversity bracket, and you're also a woman." Before
why do you fit there? You're half.
Yeah, so I'm part Asian, but
Okay.
I'm also a woman, which equals diversity in this industry. Anything that isn't white male.
Wow,
Is
that's
diverse.
crazy.
What I've run into. I mean, maybe it's different in other places. But.
Right. So they see that, and how do you feel like they're reacting to that? They're like, "Cool, we really want to be in business with you because we really want to be diverse." Or, I mean, is that part of it? Or
I mean, I had one person who seemed like a little enthused, because I could fill a quota or something. So that
sounds horrible.
See,
that sounds horrible. But whatever. I mean, but people are gonna be. But I wouldn't. It's like, I think everybody has. I mean, obviously, white men I mean, there's obviously some people that are going to have, they're obviously going to have less barriers, but everybody's got something you've got to overcome with the merit of what you produce, and I think that's what.
I guess my question is like when BlueCat was reading my script, did you guys? There's no way you could have known my gender if my name was taken off of it, or
Well, the name's not taken off of it. I think I knew it was a woman writing it. I don't think I would have. But what is that? I mean, I don't know. We don't really. I know it's hard because we like to try to not have that play into it, and we feel like we do judge things and look at stuff and go, hey, like this is not. But it's the sheer force of the writing. I mean, that's the bottom line. It was like anybody who reads the top 5 scripts out of the 5 finalists. I mean, I think everybody would agree. It's like Mouth is beyond. It just simply is, and there was no denying it. Huh?
I said thank you.
Well, it's true. I mean, it's very, very clear. I mean, this is the thing. It's like it was 125 pages with really unhealthy description that's not cinematic. You can't point a camera at it. And you've got a bunch of songs in there. You're explaining how people are feeling. So you're violating all these sort of normal things. But I was able to say that's not going to really matter because what she's doing is so inspired and really elevated and sophisticated and elegant, and so I mean there was nothing in the play like that, and I think that's what it's always going to be. I mean, if you sledgehammer them with your hard work and your everything everything you put into it, it's not going to really matter because clearly, I mean, you had all these responses. You get the manager and everything else, and so. Yeah, it is. It is tough. It is tough. Thanks submitting this year for the first time ever. I love to get feedback and allow a writer to resubmit. And well, very good. Thank you guys. You know what? I'm going to be back in about 15 minutes, and we're going to come back on, and we're going to talk to Ryan Roy, and we're also going to give out a free entry or something, maybe tickets to Blue Dog Bowl. Well, very good. Thank you so much for coming in and speaking. I know that's like nerve-wracking getting on a Ustream and being weird, and asking all these questions and stuff. But it's really helpful to everybody to get to meet you and see the person that actually wins, because they can see that it's possible and it's going to inspire another person, another writer who will come along and be like, you know what, I'm going to write whatever I want to write, and that's I think is what's so important about Mouth is you weren't thinking like, okay, where's my Blake Snyder Beachy?
I just think you can't guess, you can't totally predict what's going to be.
No, you wrote what you wanted to write and what you felt was important and what you thought was going to be good. And you believed in that, and you persisted in that, and it won BlueCat. So it's just really, really. So we're so excited. I'm so happy you submitted your work to us, and we're very, very proud of you. And we look forward to talking to you again and tracking you as you continue to make movies. And I can't wait for people to see this movie, and because I think a lot of people are going to love it. Because it's a really, really beautiful movie. So thank you so much. So everybody, I'll be back and in a few minutes, and we'll go from there. Okay. Hello. You were like, what the hell, dude? Hey, man, I got to get some snack in, like a little Chipotle action. Got my monster here. Anyways, you know what, guys? We're going to do a very, we've got a few people online, and you're really lucky because we're going to have a script contest, an entry contest, not a script. Dude, what are you doing? Oh, why?
I'm going to put fake in front of it.
Really? Okay, so what we're going to do is I am going to, we're going to end at 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to have Ryan Roy on, but we're going to save him. We're going to save him for another Ustream, guys, so that we can get the word out. I know a lot of people are watching the Tonys and watching the basketball game and stuff, so we wanted, Kimmy was in town, so we wanted to talk to her, but Ryan lives down the street, so we're going to talk to Ryan another time and when more people are around. But I've got 15 minutes, and we're going to do a little contest, okay? This contest is, I really don't even know what the contest was. Did you come up with a contest, Steve?
I sent you.
Johnny sent me a contest, and let's just see if Johnny's contest is good. He gets his job back. Okay, let's. Yeah, see, Olivia really liked that one, right?
Yeah, the Queen loved it.
The Queen dug it. I'm looking. Okay. Possible question for a free entry contest. Let's see what Steve had to say. In honor of Mad Max, which is spelled with 2 X's there. I'm not sure why. But, I think that's the name of a condom company, actually. Mad Max.
Spit left in here, or do you want the spit left in there?
Why did he even take it and pull it away?
Because that's what I just did. Hashtag fake it.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. We only have 8 viewers on right now, and they are going to benefit from this because we are going to have a very... In honor of Mad Max a few weeks ago, which movie should be remade by its same director, older than 15 to 20 years? That's a great contest question. It's good job. Steve, we will consider your application for employment based off of that, but it's not an automatic, dude. You can put the Wheaties box away, though, if you would. It's not. It doesn't go there. It goes on the bookcase. Okay, very good. Okay, everybody, that's the question. In honor of Mad Max a few weeks ago, which movie should be remade by its same director? We have about 15 minutes, so let's get the best answers up here. We've got a few people on, so think about it. In honor of Mad Max a few weeks ago, which movie should be remade by its same director, the original director coming back?
Can I tweet
It was kind of cool. It was kind of but you got to get them on Ustream, right? Are you going to do a contest? We're going to use Twitter too.
Oh, should we use Twitter too?
I don't know. Are we going to tweet that they need to go on Ustream or something?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't. I'm not. We don't know what we're doing. Okay. Yeah. It was interesting, right? I mean, Mad Max was remade by the same director. You never ever see that, right? It's like it doesn't really happen. It's very, very interesting, and it was awesome, right? Did everyone love Mad Max? I mean, Mad Max was the greatest movie ever until San Andreas came out, and then it dislodged it. No, I dug me some San Andreas seriously, but I also was like, hey, Mad Max was so fun, right? It was just really great. So the chat isn't really working on mine. I mean, it's not kicking in yet, and I'm not sure. Are you getting any? That's why we're not really getting anybody. I've just chatted, seeing if we get people rolling. I know you've got some people out here. I know you guys are suffering, trying to. What about Black Rain with Ridley Scott? Okay. We got Danny's. Is that your official entry, Danny. You're probably going to be the only one. And Danny, I don't know if you can actually win because you usually The Shining, directed by Stanley Kubrick. Well, Stanley Kubrick is dead, so that's not funny. Okay, because we wish he wasn't dead. I wish he was still alive.
I wish he wasn't dead either.
We wish he was still alive, but the whole idea is somebody who is still around. It's your wife's entry. Okay, Danny. You always got some. Danny's got our Austin conference banners. He holds them hostage. You know. Bring him back then. Yeah. Okay. Well.
That is my favorite movie of all time. So
The Shining?
I'll see what I can do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to try and bring Stanley. We're going to try and bring Kubrick back for that one, and but that's definitely a good. That might end up winning, because we do love Kubrick very much, and he's awesome.
Whoever that intern is, we need their contact.
What's that?
Like, who are they?
Okay.
Follow the email info app.
Well, we will. When we pick the winner, we have about 10 more minutes. So, Black Rain with Ridley Scott. What was Black Rain about? Brian, intern, come on over here and get on the Ustream. I want you to meet Brian. He's our new intern from the University of Kansas. He's recently he's on probation for selling marijuana, but no, is that you? I thought that was one of our other interns. It wasn't you.
No.
So what do you want to do? You want to write, direct? What's your deal?
Write and produce.
Write and produce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe direct. I don't know.
You don't know.
All right.
You want to write. You're a writer.
Yeah.
How many scripts have you written?
I've written like 2 or 3 for myself. Haven't done much.
What do you mean? You
Well,
act them out in your bedroom or
Well, I
something?
mean,
or-
I'm just a student. I haven't
You're a student.
No one's really seen them.
No one has seen them.
I mean, my friends.
Have you shown them to Steve?
Friends and family.
Steve, he's right here. The
Steve.
guy who used to work here.
No, Steve has not seen them.
I'm not.
Why are you looking at me like that, Queen?
I'm not looking at you like
you were like, you're like, because I was like saying like.
because I was laughing.
So,
You're so weird.
do you have any? Yeah. See, hi, Brian. Oh, Danielle, you're finally on. Danielle? Did you miss Kimmy? You just missed Kimmy. Were you here the whole time, or you would have loved her? Okay. So, what was your first script about, Brian? I'm scared, but go ahead and tell me.
I don't want to share.
Okay, you don't want to share. All right. So,
It was a personal one.
okay. You know what? Let's just leave it at that.
We probably should.
Okay, let's just, I mean, I don't think that we need to. Do you want to? Okay, make sure that maybe you move a little closer to the camera and get in the Ustream broadcast. Okay, so we've got 8 more minutes. Yeah, Danielle is. I was here. She was great. Okay, but you didn't ask any questions, Danielle, because you think you know everything. Is that what it is? You're like, I'm not answering. I'm not asking her anything. I already know because I went to Gordy's workshop. I don't need to know anything else, right? I know I've lost my marbles. So, all right, we've got about 8 minutes left, and we're gonna let's get a little contest going here. What's a good movie to remake that would want to use the same director? You know what my answer would be? Jaws. Yeah, you know what? I think I might have won the contest for that one. That is a good answer, right? Hey, Steve, can we use this contest question again?
I give you permission, yes.
Okay, because I know you won't be here in the future. And I
can't
just
say
want to
that.
make sure that it's okay. Brian, what do you think? I mean, that's good, right? Jaws.
No, I don't
What
know
does
if you can
Spielberg
top
remake?
Jaws, man.
Huh?
I don't know if you can top Jaws.
But if it's Spielberg doing Jaws again,
Yeah.
oh my God, that could be really
It'd be
awesome.
so different because you know how they didn't show the
Steve,
shark.
You're not on camera.
I'm
Sort
just
of.
gonna.
No, it's like, go ahead.
it'd definitely be different because the reason that he didn't use the shark was because it looked like shit. Pretty much, they wanted to keep it off screen as much as they could. So when it did come on screen, you were like, "Oh shit!"
I thought it was because it was always broken.
What's that?
Well, and practice.
No, I don't know.
No, the story about Jaws was that the first day when they tried to use it, it looked bad. And so they had to push back all the scenes and they were shooting everything else, and it ended up influencing, I think, editorially, the idea of like, oh, the shark's got to come later or whatever in the movie. I mean, because they kept not being able to even shoot the shark stuff. That was the story I heard. I think from Spielberg, it was just so bad, but because I think ultimately it did look, pretty scary, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is like if you shove like a CG shark in there, you're gonna have the same suspense, the same like big reveal.
Well, it was a fake shark before, so if you have a fake,
Right, but it's cheaper to like.
you think it'll look shittier now? That's the whole
No, I don't
point.
think
It's
it'll
like
look shittier.
it's like you could actually like. There's something about it that could really feel almost like even more realistic. I mean, you look at Jurassic World that's coming out, and it's clearly, it's. I mean, Godzilla. It was scary. Godzilla was pretty. When he was pissed off, he was pretty loud. I mean, so
Can I make a confession?
yeah.
You already know what's coming. I've never seen Jaws.
You've never seen Jaws, okay? Olivia, the girl who works for BlueCat.
She went to film school.
She'd never seen Star Wars, and she'd never seen Jaws, and she's
Well,
never seen The
no,
Godfather.
Yeah, I've seen The Godfather.
You've never seen Jaws.
No.
Okay,
Seen
well
Casino?
maybe
Or
we
Indiana
should.
Jones.
Sounds like we had.
Yeah,
Maybe
I've
we
never
should-
seen Indiana Jones either.
Well,
you seen
yeah.
Casino?
What's that?
What's that?
Casino?
I don't know.
Casino. Well, a lot of people, but Jaws. It's weird that she hasn't seen Jaws.
Yeah, I know.
But she's, but she, trust me, she's not,
Good one.
handling anything that's important. Okay, so The Goonies by Richard Kevin.
Okay.
Oh, Dances with Wolves by Kevin Costner. What do you think about that? Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, good.
Dirty
Dirty Dance.
You're not feeling Dances with
Nah.
Wolves.
Not
I remember
a huge
really
fan.
liking it, but I mean, it probably doesn't work very well. He's a good actor. I like him though. I think he makes good films. No, you're not. You don't like Kevin Costner.
Not a huge fan. I think he's solid, but
Okay. Well, what's your favorite director?
probably Scorsese.
Really?
Yeah,
What's your favorite Scorsese movie?
I like Goodfellas. I really like The Departed. I love The Departed. Yeah, Goodfellas is great.
Goodfellas. Okay. Would you like Scorsese to remake Goodfellas?
Does he need to remake Goodfellas? I think it
This is
holds
part
up.
of the contest.
Yeah, but it
right?
holds up. It doesn't need to be remade.
We're not. I mean, Jaws holds up too very well, but we're talking about. I mean, Mad Max was remade, and Mad Max is a classic, and they remade it.
All right, I guess I don't think it needs to be remade though.
Okay, well, it was just a question. I mean, we don't have to. It's like it just felt like it got a little weird. It was
No,
a
he's
weird
good enough.
moment.
He can make new stuff. He
Weird
doesn't
moment
need to
between
remake
me and
his
you.
I'm sorry.
It was just like didn't know what was going on. Okay, so we're almost done. Dance with the Wolves, The Goonies by Richard Donner, Shining, Stanley Kubrick, and Black Rain by Ridley Scott. Anybody else? Okay, Danielle, you're listening. Can you participate in our contest question? But I guess not. Okay. Well, we only have a few more minutes. What do you think, Steve? Do you have any ideas of anything you would want remade?
I don't know. I didn't really think about my answer to the question. I just thought about the question.
Yeah.
Maybe Apocalypse Now. I don't know. What do you think?
Let's go back to the experts here. What do you think about Apocalypse? Steve's answer, Apocalypse Now.
Is it worthy of getting a job?
You know what? You're not.
Hey,
used
hey.
to it. Okay.
Hey.
All All right, Brian, what did you think about that?
I mean, it's a great flick, but- It's good. It's awesome. It's classic.
I don't know. Would you remake it though?
No.
No way.
No.
No way. I mean, it's not a good answer. So that's not going to win, Steve. So you not only do not have a job with BlueCat, you also don't have a free entry. You've got to pay just like. But former employees are not eligible, so you can't enter
So it's a
BlueCat.
good thing
So you
you
can-
That's why I didn't even
So
think
you-
about the answer.
So you can just
I didn't think about my answer.
you don't have to come up with a good answer, and all you can do is go home and think about BlueCat at your house. Just think about it. Big by Penny Marshall. I don't know. I like that. I like that, Danielle. That's good. Big by Penny Marshall. Okay, I'm gonna have Brian decide.
I'm deciding.
You're gonna decide. Now this is for a free short or feature, Heather. Either one or what?
Yo, either whatever they. Yeah.
Either one. It's going to be a free entry, feature or short. Okay? And what you want to do if you win, you're going to email info at, and you'll email Olivia and she'll hook you up. Okay, so you got Big by Penny Marshall, Miller's Crossing, Coen Brothers, Dances with Wolves, The Goonies by Richard Donner, The Shining or Black Rain. Let's start by illuminating.
Okay.
Okay, one at a time. Okay. Okay, we're gonna stop. No more. Don't more. Now you're all gonna get pissed and want to get in, but you can't get in now. It's over. So entries are out. We're in the adjudication. What would be? Okay, Dirty Dancing. Okay, all right. So Dirty Dancing. We're gonna throw Dirty Dancing in, and hopefully there's nobody who. Okay, somebody's got a few. Okay, 63461 has 3 answers. Okay, actually 4 answers. So which one are you going to pick? 63461 needs to pick Miller's Crossing, Kevin Dance with Wolves, Goonies, or Stanley Kubrick. So put that up there and then we'll know. But let's go ahead. Dirty Dancing versus Big. Which one goes?
Dirty Dancing goes.
Out.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dirty Dancing is out. Big versus well, Danielle picked Big and okay. Big versus Black Rain
Black Rain.
is going to go out.
No. Black Rain progresses.
Okay, so Big is out. Okay. Goonies. You just picked Goonies. Somebody else picked Goonies. Danielle. Okay. 63461 picked Goonies. So Danielle just lost to Black Rain. Now, okay, Black Rain. Yes, I'd go with the Goonies. Okay. Goonies by Richard Donner versus Black Rain, Ridley Scott. Which one stays?
Goonies.
Goonies! Wow. Okay. So right now, we've got Goonies versus The Shining. No. The Shining was already eliminated. I think that would mean the Goonies won. The Goonies would win. So 63461 just won a script entry contest. Free entry. Congratulations. Yes. Good job. Awesome picks. And thanks for hanging in there.
They need to email me.
And we got that going. So you're going to email info@bluecatscreenplay.com. Yes. You sure did win. info@bluecatscreenplay.com. So you'll email Olivia, and she's watching the whole thing, so she knows, and you'll get the free entry. Good, congratulations. Those were awesome. So we're going to sign off here, everybody. I hope I know we said we were going to go till 9, but we're gonna save our guest. I know. Good morning. Maybe you'll win the Roshan Award with that. And Brian, are you going to be back? Are you going to stay
Is he up
in
there
your
now?
internship at BlueCat?
That's the plan. Yes.
Okay. Well, fantastic.
Yes.
So yeah, so happy that you're going to stay. You're very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. Why? What? That's weird. Does that sound creepy or something? Or
Not at all.
no? I think it's awesome. I like having you on. You've got a lot of knowledge. And what's the email? Okay, we're gonna uncensor it and put the email on. I think it's. Hold on a second. Where's the preferences? There's like, you can actually. Hello. Okay. Does he really sell marijuana? We're not going to get into that because the Ustream is over. It's over. We're going to have to get back to that next time. So we'll see you guys again. Thanks for hanging in. I know there's some stuff going on. Tony's basketball and everything, and we had a really great time with you tonight. Thanks for all your great questions. And we will see you very soon at the next Ustream. And it's going to be probably the next. There's Ryan right now. We're gonna be talking to Ryan next time, and we'll see. But thank you so much, everybody. We love you. Love BlueCat. I love you guys. You make it all fun. And thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you again very soon. Thanks so much.